If there's one thing that we can all agree on as business owners is that it is incredibly difficult to stand out these days. The internet is absolutely saturated with so much noise. It is unbelievable how many people are out there claiming the exact same things, claiming the number one spot, claiming to be the absolute best in X industry, claiming to be the ones that have been certified and rated by X association. There is just so much junk out there that it is so hard, even as a business owner that has created an incredibly important product, to stand out. And all of this makes it so easy to get lost in the noise. All of this makes it so easy to get frustrated. And many business owners, when faced with declining sales, make the critical mistake of starting to try and compete based on price. They start trying to shrink their margins. They start trying to look for areas where they can reduce the prices of their goods. And that strategy almost always fails. It devalues your brand and it makes growth almost impossible. So now let's talk about ways that we can make the buying decision effortless for customers that are looking for our product. For customers that are shopping around, we want to differentiate our brand by making it effortless to buy from. So one of the best things that you can do is to use simple visual language. Instead of trying to describe your product as a product that, for example, reduces the application time by 50%, right? And while that is a benefit of the product, you want to simplify the language and make it visual. So you can say something like, complete application in half the time, right? Or complete application in one afternoon, right? So that, number one, is simple, and number two, is very easy to visualize. If you're telling me I can complete this job in an afternoon, then that way I can fit all of the other things I have to do in that day, and it's very easy for me to visualize that and not have to do any mental calculations. Another thing that you can do is to incorporate aspirational images. So what this means is that when you're using images either on your website or in your advertising or on your product itself, you want the image to reflect the outcome. So if you're talking about paint, for example, you want to show the finished product and you want to show it in an aspirational way. Think about what your customers would like to see as their best outcome, right? And find a way to put that into an image or to show that as an image so your customers know exactly what they're going for. The objective here is that we don't want them to be doing any mental gymnastics to figure out what's going to be the outcome if I buy this product. You want it front and center, and you want them to be already thinking about a finished outcome, a finished product when they are choosing what to buy. Another thing that you can do is to simplify the product selection. A lot of business owners make the critical mistake of giving the customers way too many options. If you give a customer an option of a product that has 7 different configurations and 16 different colors, it then becomes very difficult for them to pick. And even sometimes when it's very obvious to you as the business owner, it is not as obvious to the customer. So think about ways that you can simplify the product selection and you can show them visually. For example, if we're talking about which one is the best seller, make sure you're highlighting the best sellers. If you are selling to a particular segment of the market, right? This is what painters normally choose. This is what general contractors trust. Make sure that you're making it very easy for them to pick an option so that they can select which one is the best option for them. But try and shrink the options as much as possible, highlighting what you would recommend as the business owners for them to pick. Remember, we are trying to make this decision as easy as possible for the customer. Another thing that you can do is to leverage cognitive biases. And cognitive biases are basically mental shortcuts that we take as human beings to reduce our cognitive load, to reduce our mental effort in making decisions. So, for example, as I talked about before, if you're faced with a decision to buy something that you've never bought before, your first reaction would be, who can I call to help me with this decision? Or where can I look for reviews, right? So if we're to reverse engineer that as business owners, make sure that your website or however you're doing your marketing is going to highlight that other people have already trusted this product. And you're going to do that by using testimonials. You're going to do that by showing before and after. You can also do that using case studies. There's a lot of ways that you can incorporate in your marketing to show people that others have already trusted your brand. The other bias that you can leverage is the fact that as human beings, we value the things that we already own and we don't want to lose them. It is called loss aversion. And basically, the fear of loss is greater than the promise of gain. So what you want to do is to highlight what your potential customer is going to lose if they don't use your product. So for example, if we're talking about foundation, right? You don't want to wait until the problem is too big before you fix it. So what is the customer potentially going to lose if they continue waiting? You want to highlight that. If we're talking about savings, right? So you want to make sure you very clearly demonstrate how much the customer is losing by choosing X product over your product, right? Don't throw money away by choosing this product. Here's how much you could save if you use this instead. And again, make it very visual, make it very simple. The objective here is to make sure that our customer is expending as little energy as possible in making the decision to buy our product. So these are just some of the ways that you can stand out by reducing the mental energy that our customer has to expend when they're making the decision on which product to buy. And this just makes it easier for you as the business owner to be able to get your message across. It also makes it easier for the customers to buy again from your brand and to recommend your brand. If they had a very easy time and a very pleasant experience when they chose your product, that then makes them more highly likely to recommend those products and to talk about those products and to give you a testimonial and to leave a review. This is a very impactful way to stand out.